Guys, Coach for the Soul Thursdays at 3 has begun. If you're here live, say hello to me. Hello to everybody. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. And please leave a comment or hi Bill or an emoji in the comments. And that will help for YouTube to use the algorithms to send Coach for the Soul around the planet. Yes, yes, yes. So if you're watching this again on YouTube, say hello. I appreciate that. Yeah, please do. So we'll see who pops on. And I'm going to start in a few minutes. But it is a humid day in Detroit. It's going to rain all weekend, starting tonight. Hey, Robin. So yeah, going to rain all weekend, unfortunately. So we have a big dream cruise this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to kind of suck. For them, I don't really go to it. Hi, Kathy. But it's a really powerful day. There's going to be a real powerful full moon next week on the 19th. Watch out between now and then because there's a lot of volatility. And it's Mercury retrograde still. So, hey, Sherry. How's it going?
I'm fine. Thanks.
Great. Wasn't really talking to you, but hey, what's up? Yeah. So, hi, Diane. How's it going? Yeah. So, a lot of astrological things going on. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. No worry about the stuff. Again, don't let the circus get you down. But there's going to be big stuff. I'm going to talk about some stuff on the 19th, between now and the 19th, and the correlation to the Democratic Convention, which starts on Monday. So there's some stuff going on that could possibly freak us out. Hey, Pat. Yeah, yep, could possibly freak us out. Hey, Erica. How are you? Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Suze. What's on? What's going on? Yeah. So, I think we're going to start because he's like jamming already. So, chimes are pretty active today. It's a very high energy day. Yeah, and that's because of the full moon, the super full moon in Aquarius on the 19th. So we're going to start there, okay? No, we're going to start with Mercury retrograde first. So Mercury retrograde, we all know about this. It's a communication planet, and it's in retrograde motion. So it looks like going backwards in the sky. There's all kinds of other astrological things going on. Mars and Jupiter. And I posted that on my Bill Clairvoyant Facebook page. I also posted about Jupiter Saturn. Check that out. I also posted about Mars Saturn, I believe it was, on my Bill Clairvoyant Facebook page. Check those out because, hey, Carol, and simply because as we go forward, we are going to use astrology a lot. It's what we did what we did before 3D in 5D. So, man, they're just chatty Cathy today. Holy cannoli. Yeah. So, get your birth chart, pamgargary.com. Okay. Get your personal birth chart, print that bad boy out, and keep it handy because as more and more astrologists start coming on YouTube and things like that, I'm not going to get that deep into it. I do the surface stuff that actually makes sense to me. I've been following it for like 20 years, but I don't really get it. And I understand what the planets do. I understand when they're in conjunction and things like that, or squares, or T squares. But I don't get that deep into it. But we will be able to look at the house that Mercury retrograde is in, let's say, in your birth chart, and Mercury is somewhere in your zodiac wheel, let's say, and wherever it's at when you were born is what is going to be influenced, usually negatively, and you can look at it and go, okay, I got to pay attention to what that house is, because it all has different houses. Hey, Tess. Yeah, so very, very, very important, okay? But that goes to the 28th of this month, and then we have a 10-day shadow. So the energy in August is freaking unbelievable. There's going to be lots of turns on stuff. A lot of like just things that we're not expecting, okay? So, the 19th is the super moon in Aquarius, the full moon. It's probably one of the most intense this year. It's closer to the Earth, but also the Democratic Convention is going on. So the 19th is going to be a very, very powerful day where it's going to be impactful. Now, I've gotten a bunch of different things between now and let's say end of next week, okay? And I'm just going to talk about that because, yeah, it's not dire, Spirit says. It's not dire at all. But we have to be aware of what's going on. Again, if you're not watching, if you don't know what's going on politically, you got to pay attention, guys. You got to pay attention. I know that you hate it, but you know what? You got to vote. And you have to really make sure that you understand exactly what's going on, okay? And next week is going to prove it. So, first thing is demonstrations. Demonstrations are going to be loud and crazy and chaotic next week. The war in Gaza is huge because they want to be heard. They want the war to end. Well, that's a whole cluster. So to demand that we do something is not going to work. It's not going to. You're not going to change any minds. Most of those people that are in those protests are aggravators. Okay, they show up to aggravate, to make lots of noise, to do more than demonstrate. Okay, our tie to Israel is tied. It's never going to change because but their prime minister Netanyahu is a crook, and he's trying to stay in office with the war so that they can't put him on trial. Just saying, guys. Okay, I'm just letting you know what is going on. All right. So protests. Something is going to happen. Something is going to happen that is going to hang on. Okay. There's a chance there's going to be gunshots in the convention. Okay? And somebody's either wounded or killed. Okay? Just saying. I know. Some way, somehow, there's going to be able to get a gun into the convention. And they're looking to hurt the people on stage. Okay? I hope that they're wrong, but they're usually not. And that's all because of the 19th. It's probably going to happen on the 19th. Okay? And so just prepare yourself emotionally, all right? Psychologically, that if something does happen, I don't want anybody to be off the shelf. Okay? Because it's meant to scare. Okay? Also, Spirit has talked about this since 2019. Okay? There will be bombs that go off next week in certain cities around the country, and they'll have nuclear components to them, okay? Just because we're getting close to the election. Spirit has talked about this 5 years, okay? We're getting into the nitty-gritty of that disruption, the circus. They do everything they possibly can to mess it up because they really want to have, and this is all from that moon and Mars and Jupiter. Mars is the warrior planet. It's the war planet. Okay, so I don't want anybody to be offset when things happen next week. Okay, and I know Spirit says we have to explain to everybody that we wouldn't do this type of commentary if it wasn't serious. If I know. They don't want anybody caught off guard. They don't want anybody, chimes. They don't want anybody to wake up one morning and go, well, when the heck did that happen? Okay? Because it can be dire. Okay? Our way of life can change in a day. And although the federal government is taking care of stuff, I know that for a fact from them, it's going to be fine. It is the incursion of fear to stop people from voting. Chimes. That Donald Trump is not running for president to win. I'll give you that. I know. I had to say that. I was holding it back, but he's not running to win the election. He's running to steal the election. With 70 people so far have been embedded in the swing states who are deniers. Federal government says they got stuff taken care of. It'll be an easy system. Boom, boom, boom. But we don't know what else is coming. I don't want anybody, because an insurrection is coming again. I'm trying to stop him from saying things, but yeah, there's going to be another insurrection. And I've said this, and I've said this before, and people said, no, I don't think so, which is fine. You can have your opinion, but X will be taken away from Elon Musk because it's a propaganda network. Just saying, okay? That will happen in 2025 or 26. Man. I keep saying, don't be fearful, don't be fearful, don't be fearful. Don't. They want to put you in fear. They want you to be fearful, especially with the transformation from third dimension to 5D. This is a pivotal time for mankind, for human, especially in the United States, to have a steady mind, to have a steady understanding that, because it's not going to, I'll put this, they're not going to win. I know that. Light always beats the dark. Always. Now, does that mean that people won't be hurt? No. Again, soul journey, right? So I'm just saying this, and I wasn't planning on this at all, but they run the show. So, yes, okay. I'm trying to move them to someplace else. But they're insistent on the fact that it doesn't matter about the parties. It matters about who is good and who is bad. It does not matter. I will say also that, and I've said this I think a number of times, that after this portion of the Republican Party, it will shrink and basically die in the next 3 years. They will not be able to save it. And there's a reason for that, because it's third dimensional. Okay, it's 3D. Again, we all know that on the day that Joe Biden stepped back and Kamala Harris stepped forward, the energy on the planet went directly to 5D. Boom, everything shifted. Everything shifted. Another big shift is on Tuesday. Okay, it's on Tuesday, and now that Kamala Harris is doing in 3 weeks is blowing the doors off the place. They know that. They know that. That their desperate spirit says. They're absolutely looking to harm people who do not believe in their ideology. Whoever thought that would happen? I never did. But I know the spirit warned us in 2019. Okay. He wants me to retrace this. That in 2019, we spoke about that Joe Biden would be a one-term president, that there would be two senators who were Democratic out of Georgia. Happened. George Bush. I don't know why that's there. I got to talk about George Bush too. Joe Biden won, planned on going forward, was being hidden because of his dementia. Showed it at the convent. Showed it at the debate. Okay. That's when it took 3 weeks, Spirit says, for Bo, his son, who told him to run for president in 2019 because we were going to lose the country. And so he did, and he won for a reason. as the bridge to 5D. All right? So, I know. Wow. Ooh. Sheesh. Okay. Get my line of connection back. I have to talk about something else too. I can't forget that. Hang on, guys. Okay, so in 2019, we talked about Joe Biden, things like that, one-term precedent. And then there was a woman that was coming up. There was a woman, had no idea. I believed it was Hillary again, but it's not. It's Kamala. She becomes a nominee 4 months before the election for a reason, okay? For a reason. Being the other side being caught off guard. That was the point. The universe is working in the country's favor. All right? And we've talked about this before. There will not be any dictators by 2030 to 2035. They'll all be gone. The lone one, the last one will be China. Okay? So they're going to start to drop like flies in 2025. All right? Either by being murdered or just basically leaving and running away. I will say, I know, that Spirit has also talked to me about a big event and Donald Trump leaving the country, fleeing somewhere else. And he keeps saying the election may not happen, the election may not happen, the election may not happen. And that may be one of the reasons why. Okay? Because he knows what's in front of him if he loses. All right? But I will tell you this. I think I may have mentioned this before. That Spirit shows me him either passing before the election, another reason why there won't be an election, because they'll have to restart it, or he dies by December, January possibly, and Joe Biden dying after him by like March or April. Okay, again, that's going to be something that's going to be chaotic. It's going to be very unsettling, Spirit says. And we have to be prepared for that. It's never happened before to us as humans in third dimension, right? In the United States of America, it's never happened. Okay? So there's going to be a lot of BS that's yap about this, that, and the other thing. You have to be able to make the determination of hearing what you need to hear. Don't have to engage. Again, they are so insistent on, we have to make sure, Bill, that they understand they have to pay some type of attention. Because I know. Please rely on your spirit guide, your guardian angels. Okay? Listen to your instincts. Listen to your intuition. Okay? Now, we're in Metro Detroit. Here, we're kind of like, no, not going to happen here at all. Because we have the largest population of Arabs and Muslims in the United States. Right now, there's over 300,000, which is fine. They're fine people, right? Again, I don't understand, and they're peaceful people. I don't understand the whole thing. But again, it's that. So, Kamala Harris is going to eventually be elected president of the United States with Tim Walz, and that's when the agenda starts. Okay, once this all gets cleared up and people truly go to prison, or they're going to be gone by their own hand, Spirit says. Okay, by their own hand. This will be politicians also, Spirit says. Okay, because Spirit has also talked about in the past that up to 50 House members will be indicted and up to 10 senators will be indicted for the insurrection on Jan 6th. Okay, my ears are ringing and my head is ringing like a freaking wow. They may be some of the people that know what's coming around. They may be some. So they will not leave. They will either choose to face it or pass. Okay, at the last minute. This is not what I expected to talk about. I know. Warning, 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 warning. If you live in Chicagoland, just make sure that you are aware of things. Okay. Also New York City, also Washington D.C. of course, and I'm going to name off the cities again. I guess Miami, Dallas, Los Angeles of course, Spokane, and Portland, and Chicago. Okay. And it's just meant to be a surprise, right? That's why we're doing this, I guess. That's what they're telling me. That's why we're doing it. Okay, so Sherry's saying, what will our awareness help with? It'll help you to understand, right? Because a third-dimensional energy, a third-dimensional brain, if you haven't done work, but if you're watching Coaching for the Soul, you have to have done some work. You have to be interested in knowing who you are in the future. You can turn down the monkey brain, right? You can turn it down by, again, talking out loud to yourself, to spirit, right? To God. They would rather have it be them, right? Because they can give you answers. Also, Spirit says, don't be surprised if many, many people become clairvoyant in this event, all right? Because their monkey brain is shut off, and they're not in fear. They're in a place of, okay, now what? That's a good place to be, okay? Don't be surprised, Spirit says, if we don't tap you on the shoulder and speak to you, all right? Chimes, don't be surprised if we put you in the right place at the right time. Yes. Don't be surprised if your absolute energy and your connection to Spirit skyrockets, okay? Because you're a chosen being. Many should expect that. Many should expect that, all right? Because you're going to be catapulted, Spirit says, into fifth dimension, if you're not feeling that already. We'll worry about the adjustments later. And that's not because you're going to be hurt. It's because of the people around you that are going to be like WTF. WTF. Yes, yes. Okay? So that activation now until probably the end of next week, because the full moon energy goes for 7 days after, sometimes a month after. Super moon, we'll see. Because there's so many other aspects in the sky that are conjunct, which is right next to each other in the sky, right? Although they're 300 million miles away from each other, okay? And that's the case with Jupiter and Mars. Mars is much closer, but Jupiter's the first planet in front of Mars. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Yeah, because I don't understand the whole concept. It's above my pay grade, but I always have wondered since a kid, how does that happen? How does that happen? How does that happen? I don't understand. So let me answer some of these people that are writing. So Aaron says, all this energy makes my stomach upset. Exactly. You're not supposed to be able to concentrate because Aaron, all of us are in this place of, I call it ascension, but you're in a holding period. And I'll tell you, we're going to shoot up like freaking jet planes in at least the next month. But then on September the 2nd, we have Pluto coming back into Capricorn. And that's the government, right? Capricorn is the government. It's structure. And Pluto's the destruction planet. And it is coming in, and not to deconstruct it. It's already done that. That's obvious, right? It is there to keep the levels of structure standing, Spirit says. Okay? Before it would rip us apart. Right? And that's what it has done to Capricorn for the last 16 years. It's completely changed our lives, completely not regenerated us, Spirit. Not rejuvenated us. We came back bigger and better. Let's just put it like that. Okay? But our lives completely changed. They took everything away and then they rebuilt us better. That's what it does. That's what it's done for secrets and things that we are now finding out about stuff, right? Right? So it's in Aquarius now. It's going to go back into Capricorn to 29 degrees and 59 seconds. Now what that means is it's at the very last point of Capricorn. Not going further in. It's right there on the cusp, let's say. Right? It's there to the 24th of November. And then it moves into Aquarius for the next 20 years. That's the age of Aquarius. Doesn't come back to Capricorn for 248 years. Yeah. Okay, it's a 248-year cycle because Pluto is so far out in the solar system. All right, so it's a destroyer, and that's what it's about. So we need to just understand. That's why your birth chart is so important, because you can look and see where it's going to affect. Okay, I gotta let the dog out, so you guys are gonna have to come with me. Sorry. So, all right, go out here. Here. There you go. Thanks, Kim. Okay. So. Leave the door open. She'll be out there all day, I guess. But she's doing good. So anyway, Amanda's saying dizziness all the time. Exactly. For no reason. Yes. You're going to get vertigo. I'll tell you straight up. You're going to have a little bit of vertigo. You're going to, your body's going through this metamorphosis, right? It truly is. And it's all times, and it's all scheduled, right? So you're going to be tired. You're going to be like, especially with Mercury retrograde, you'd be angry. So is everybody else. So you got to kind of watch what you say, watch your energy that you put out to the universe. Be as loving as you can to yourself. Most important thing ever, it's you. Taking care of you. Again, if you're a female, it's you. If you got kids, it's your kids. And if you got a husband or a wife, it's them. But you come first and then the kids. Okay? So this energy that is shifting is major league, everybody. We're talking fifth dimension in 2025. Okay? What does that actually mean? It's about everything that we know right now will disappear next year. All of the structure that we have, what we expect, how we expect things to happen, because understanding third dimensional energy has been around for over 12,000 years. You've experienced it hundreds or if not thousands of times in those 12,000 years. Okay? So you're being asked, because you signed the contract, to move into an area where things are not as we've known them. They're better. They're better than how we've known them. And that's the key. Does it kind of suck because we're in between worlds? Yeah, it does. But as we see the deceitful and the secrets and all these other types of things that have been hidden possibly for thousands of years. And on that note, I will tell you, Atlantis and Lemuria will reappear by 2030. Yeah. That's going to be something that we never ever thought would actually happen. But yes, it's going to happen. We'll see, again, the UFOs and the beings in the UFOs. We'll see that by 2035. We talked about that before, right? So this is all coming down to this super, super transformational energy that is on the planet, right? It's actually on the planet. And as always, the world follows the United States of America. So if there's turmoil here, right, it's going to be felt around the planet. Some people think it's good, the dictators, and the other people do not. But they are not in a fifth dimensional world yet. We're leading the world into 5D. Why? Talked about it last week, I think, because on the East Coast was Atlantis, on the West Coast is Lemuria. And we're stuck between two energy bodies, and we're the prime choice, just because the masses are easily upgraded. Because our country's not that old, so it makes a huge difference. Plus, the government and things can be easily shifted to a new way of thinking. I can't believe that because I'm a Capricorn, but they say it's actually possible. Okay, it's actually possible. Also, between now and the end of next week, there may be earthquakes around the world. A reason why is because, and there'll be devastating earthquakes. The reason why is because humans are leaving the planet. Boom, that's Oh, God. Yeah. Humans are leaving the planet, going back where they came from. They're not going into fifth dimension at all. And we've talked about that before too. This is the pinnacle, Spirit keeps saying. It's the pinnacle. And there's no reason for us to worry, no reason for us to be afraid, because we're all protected and so are our families. All right? So, and get ready for the light. Get ready for the light. Get ready for the light. Again, the light comes from Spirit, comes from God, and it'll eventually it will light up the whole planet. It'll light up the whole world, and that makes total sense. I've also gotten that hang on. Ooh. Some people will die next week in Chicago. Where are they? The gun's already been smuggled in. Gun's already been smuggled in. United Center. So he says this is a big plan. It's a big plan to disrupt not only the convention but the country because of the switch of energy. The switch of energy. Okay. The capabilities are coming from someplace else. The capabilities are coming from someplace else. Okay. So that would be like Russia, China, North Korea, Hungary, the Middle East. Spirit says. Okay. If there's turmoil at the convention next week, turn it off. Turn it off. All right? Because you don't need that energy coming through the TV as long as you know what possibly happened. Okay? Yeah. And people are not going to believe that it's all happening because of the supermoon, because it's not. It's all of the things leading up to this, and we've talked about this before, that they need us to be in 5, they needed us to be ready for 5th dimension. And all of you that have done your work, and some people, again, it's hard. Life sucks sometimes, right? It freaking sucks. It's too hard. I mean, it's way too hard. Frick that thingy. Yeah, it's too hard. And so, again, Soul Journey says you're not supposed to until now. When they catapult you into your 5th dimensional energy, and all of a sudden you switch in 30 days. Go, okay, what the hell happened with that? Because they are willing, they need to take that stuff away from us that no longer serves. Okay, that no longer serves. Yes. Oh, I'm itching my nose. Stop. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get away from this. We're not done. Okay. Okay. The energy that we carry past next week is going to be the energy of the collective consciousness. It is going to be, you have to bond together. You have to understand that you're not by yourself, that you're not alone. And not even not understand it only in your mind, but in your heart. Okay, that there is a tomorrow. All right, they're going to try to make a lot of people believe that there's not. There is. It's just disruption. It's just disruption to the way that we've done it in the past. And this is where, again, September 2nd, Pluto's the destroyer, right? We've had elections be a certain way since the country was founded. And it's going to be a little different this year. That's why mail your ballot in, whatever, just vote. Just vote. Just vote. All right? It'll all come out in the wash. Chimes. as long as you do your part, Spirit says, in the collective consciousness, everything will be fine for everyone. Okay? So, is that good? That's good. Okay, cool. Now, on that same note, they've been showing me for the past week my death. Yeah. This morning in the shower, they showed me in a funeral home, laying on this slab, getting ready to cut my veins, let me drain out. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why? I said, well, Spirit, am I going to die? He's like, no, that's just who you used to be. I went, oh. So for me, it's going to be a big leap. The old me is dying. And I look forward to that because I've been trying to get it to die for a really long time. And I believe for all of us, after this happens, our ancient money comes. Our ancient money comes. So people are going to be called into duty. Okay? You're going to have all this stuff in your head and not have any idea how to produce it, right? Until you are approached by people that see your light, because their light's going to come on and so is yours. And the half-bloods, from Harry Potter, are going to be looking for answers on how do I work this out? How do I allow this to happen? And next year is going to be a big push of light workers coming to the forefront. All right? And not being disturbed by the overwhelming energy of people needing our help. Okay? So, but they've been showing me, like, for the past week. I went to Brenda on Tuesday. It's Tuesday? Tuesday. And I was talking to her about it too. And she was like, well, yeah, that's what it is, blah, 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 blah. But ego doesn't like that too well, right? So it's like, I'll just be doing something. All of a sudden, boom, the vision, boom, to get me to go, oh my God. No. They're never going to tell you when you're going to die. Plain and simple. Trust me. We're just going to drop dead, right? I mean, that Spirit says to me, you'll be working until the day you drop dead. So don't worry about it. You're not going anywhere. And again, they're not going to tell us that anyway. It is under the understanding that you got work to do in the future. Yeah. And we're going to live a really, really, really long time. And we will be the elder, Spirit says. Okay? Even people in their 40s and 50s, their 30s, they'll be elders to the kids who are already being born as of the year 2000, and they're already connected to Spirit. They're already starseeds. Okay? So we have them also with new information, with new things. But they need us also to help themselves be guided. Help themselves be guided. Okay? But don't be alarmed when they start talking to you. And if they don't, it's okay. It's okay. It's coming. Now, when I say talking to you, they don't talk to me like I'm talking now. At all. They only happen during readings, when I'm doing sessions, or Coach for the Soul. We don't have these kind of conversations at all. And Brendan and I are trying to figure out why. Because I should be... He's really fully loaded. He just doesn't know it yet. And I believe that's going to happen, again, next week, soon. And all of our ancient money will come, and we'll all be good. We'll all be very, very, very good. So, okay, so Amanda, feel more heard lately. There you go. That's 5D. Let me see what else is here, because when I get channeling, I can't stop. But I'm stopping them now, which is kind of cool, because I don't know why they're letting me, but I guess because I'm supposed to answer questions. So I'm just looking down here and see if there's anything that I... Now, Jody says, I think you have a visitor again today, coming through in the pic behind you. Really? To your left, in the right corner. Jody, I can't... My left... This side, yes? I mean, the seedling fan is there. That I can't turn off because it gets too freaking hot in this place. Yeah. If you see it, tell me what it looks like, because I can't see it. And again, guys, it's easy for other people sometimes to see what you can't see for a reason. I feel protected. I always do, right? I'm always surrounded by divine white light. and it's just the way it is. That's the way I feel, right? I felt like that as a kid too, so I really didn't worry about. I worried about a lot of stuff, but not in the spiritual way. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Don't be surprised if you get visitors. Again, don't be surprised if people that are past show up. Okay. Either people that you love deeply that is gonna calm you down. If you need to be calmed down. Instinct will be extremely strong. Intuition will be extremely strong. Do not go into fear. Do not go into fear. It's fine. This is the last battle. Okay, the next 4 months or so is going to be the last battle, and 2025 is going to be. It's going to calm down like by March. Okay, by March, but it'll be a 4, 5, 6 month period for the history books. Okay, and we have to do that because the old is dying and the new is being installed. Our spiritual 5D, where again, we've talked about this before, and where universal income comes into place by 2026. Okay, every adult gets an extra $1,000 a month. Okay, and we know that because McDonald's can't be $25 an hour for you to flip burgers, but we cannot lower. We can't make things go backwards. Okay, that's what has happened. Spirit says, well, a little bit. I got it. Awesome. The pandemic, after the pandemic, when prices shot up, when housing prices got out of hand, when inflation was crazy, was crazy. Now it's calming down a lot. There's a rate cut coming from the Federal Reserve, which is a blessing. Things won't cost as much, but the companies are going to be really, really surprised when the government makes them pull back prices. Yes, chimes. Okay, which we've never done before. It's a free market. It's a free market. Okay, but the pandemic changed everything, and so that's brand new. I've never heard that, but that would make sense. That would make sense. Kamala Harris is very, very powerful. I know. She's like ISIS, the superhero, not Middle East. That's why she picked Tim Walz. To blend everything out. Because he's like your grandpa, which is true. He's younger than me, but yeah. Okay. Your death will be fine. If others have the same feeling, if others have the same dream, if others have the same premonition, vision in your third eye, make sure that you remember the terminology. It's my former self, it's my old self, it's not me. Okay? Because they will never show you if you're going to pass or not. Never. The law is no, you can't. They will never do that. Intuition will take care of this, Spirit says. Intuition will take care of that. Okay? Like the plane last week that went down in Colombia, and there was 2 people who didn't get on the plane because they felt they shouldn't, and the plane just dropped out of the sky. Right? Again, those things are going to happen more and more, but not to that extreme. Okay? It looked like a balsam airplane from my childhood. My dad put it together and we would use it, right? It's just balsa wood. That was kind of weird. You're not going to die. Tell them again, Bill, they're not going to die. Okay. Okay. When you get the burst of your spirituality, once it gets revealed and in motion, many of you will have the energy to move. Okay? To move. Don't take that lightly. All right? Don't take that lightly. Don't let your monkey brain, your reptilian brain, get wrapped up in that. It will present itself if it's true. It'll present itself if it's true, which is very, very true. Okay? Got to go back down here so you can see what's going on. Yes. And so, Holly, student loans will be abolished next year. Well, some will be done this year. I mean, yeah. Joe's gonna take the knife to everything that he can. Okay? And do everything that he can to squash stuff. So student loans will be gone. Okay, and Spirit has said that for probably 2 years, maybe 3 years, especially with Lee, because Lee had student loans too, and it was always like, don't worry about that. And I know a bunch of people that have them, and some have been they've just been, deleted, or what do you want to call it? Yeah. So Kathleen says her dad, who's passed, came to her and told her on the 22nd of July that she's not alone. Of course, no one's alone. No one's alone. I mean, before I went to Brenda's on Tuesday, I was brushing my teeth. My mom showed up, right? And again, I see my mom in the pictures that I remember her in. And then my dad showed up. And I'm like, okay, I guess you're coming with me today. And it was very, very interesting because Brenda's a firm believer in distancing yourself from your parents. She had a bad childhood, and I did. Our mothers and fathers didn't know, about nothing raising kids, not like we do today, right? And and it's funny I didn't tell her this, but my mother wanted me to tell her the story of and I had totally forgotten about the story. Is that my sister's graduation party? I quit my job as a manager of a 7-Eleven. Because the owners wouldn't let me have the afternoon off for my sister's party. So I quit. I got a job in a month. In a week. No big deal. Back in 1980. And my aunt was there, and my mom's sister, and she's kind of a mean woman, very narcissistic, things like that. And there was a woman in our neighborhood which I was very fond of. I gave her counseling every day because she was an alcoholic. And I always wondered why I was exhausted when I went home. They lived five houses down the street, right? We were on the main road and they were this way. And she was, she was an alcoholic. She was drunk. She was eating, and my aunt was being mean out loud. And I had been working diligently, because I was a hard worker back then, even more than I was now. And I started to get emotional, and I ran in the house. My mother was coming out of her bedroom. I was going to the bathroom. I was going upstairs to my room. And my mother said to me, "Honey, what's wrong?" And I told her what it was. And my mother, being my mom, in this lovely way at this point, she says, "Honey, she's always been like that. She's always been like that. She will always be like that. I'm sorry that she was mean to her. I'm very, very sorry she was mean." And she gave me a hug. My mother didn't hug anybody. Ever. She was not that woman, right? So she gave me a hug, and I remembered that. And then she said, as always, "Okay, now, go in the bathroom and splash some water on your face." Right? Having that memory was because my mom was with me at the session, right? That's going to happen more and more for all of us, okay? They're going to revisit us, not because they're going away from our energy. It's because most of them will show you times when they were good. I will stand in my mother saved my life 3 times when I was a kid. So you know what? She was there. She rocked in the rocking chair with me to get me to fall asleep, and she was nauseous the whole time. She hated rocking in the chair. But she did that for me because she wanted me to survive, right? And we had past lives with each other. So as you go through this next 6 months, let's say, you're going to find out all kinds of information about who your mother and father were in your past lives. Brothers and sisters, the same thing. You're going to get epiphany after epiphany after epiphany, Spirit says. That's why I told you that story. Because something similar is going to happen to you. And you're going to be amazed when it plays out in your mind's eye. And you either are emotional, or you're happy, or you just remember. We're going through this channel of, I call it a wormhole to myself a lot of the times. Is this, there's always turns, or right? There's always ups and downs. We're going to see all of this happen in the next 6 to 9, I say 6 months. Yeah. Because it's going to trigger our trauma. It's going to trigger us being afraid. It's meant to trigger us, right? So that it's easier for them to take us into 5D when we're triggered than when we're just conscious. Because I call it fluttering, right? We're just like, yeah, see? So, again, be prepared, be ready. But don't get into ego where you're like, oh my God, Bill, nothing really happened, because you didn't allow it to happen. Because ego was putting up its force field, right? I got to protect her, I got to protect him. No, you don't. Ego stop, ego stop, ego stop, stop. Just don't get caught up in the, whirlwind, which is going to be triggering for most of us. Okay? Meditate, stand in who you are. Meditate, stand in who you are. Do guided meditations. Do fear meditations if you're fearful. Again, it works, guys. Taking that ball of energy out of your chest and throwing it away. Taking it and throwing it away. Taking it up from your stomach and just throwing it away. Just throwing it away, right? I do this. I take all of this. I kind of swirl around my head and I grab it and I throw it away. And it goes away. You're extremely powerful. You just don't use it yet. Just don't use it yet. Chimes. Okay? So don't be fearful. But again, know what's going on. Know what's going on so that if your family is fearful, you can give them some answers. Because as you know what's going on, you're also triggered a little bit, and that helps for them to raise your vibration. Okay? What else do you want to talk about? I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, yes. Okay, so if there's anything that goes on, you're going to see me more and more doing this on a daily basis if I have to, right? If something crazy happens or something important happens, I will do Facebook Lives, okay? And if you don't see it here, because as soon as I do it, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, all right? Spirit's guiding me that I've got to do more of that. Yes. I need to be seen more, they keep saying. And I'm reluctant to do that stuff because I don't like to. But then Spirit said yesterday, he goes, we're going to probably do a political channel on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah. But this will just be, again, check YouTube first at Bill Hobart, and just click the video tab and all of them will come up. And also, because as soon as I do them on YouTube or on Facebook as a live, they'll be transferred and deleted, okay? Just because that's the way they want me to do it. So, yeah. So let me see what Amanda says. Does Spirit want me to buy my sanctuary property soon? I'm getting loads of upgrade options popping up. Yeah. Just don't overextend, Spirit says. Just don't overextend. Okay? And Laura's saying, a firebug landed on me last night at my sister's. He says I'm assuming he sat there long enough to connect. Very nice. Definitely very nice. Liz, we are all in limbo on where we're moving. Oh, because they're thinking about moving. They work for they're in the air. Her husband was in the Air Force. Nothing is calling me yet, but I do feel we aren't meant to stay here. Okay. And then Kathleen, and then Holly, Lisa's here, Deb's here, Valerie's here, okay. How do you explain Spirit to people who don't believe? You don't explain it. Don't explain it. No, those are third dimensional beings, okay? Or they're not ready yet. They're just not ready yet. And that's why you push friends away, okay? Because you have nothing in common with them anymore, because you're here and they're here. Doesn't work. I did that for, again, 52-year relationship, friends. I could have done it sooner, but I was codependent. That's another aspect of when we are moving out of third dimension. We have to understand that. Because there was things that I should not have allowed to happen, but I just excused them, as a good Capricorn does. So, unfortunately, yeah. Jody, okay. And Abby. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. But guys, if you have questions when you watch this, either on my Facebook page, if you have questions, put them in the bottom, or go to YouTube and ask me questions there, because then you can, everybody can see them, and they may have the same questions. Okay, cool. Now, coaching for the soul, coaching sessions, membership sessions. Okay, starting in September, where I'm going to add, and I've told a lot of the members this, we're going to have a Zoom call every month. Okay, like an hour, 2-hour Zoom call, probably on a Wednesday night. Okay, or we can do a Saturday morning or a Saturday afternoon, whatever. Because I want everybody to get together so we can share energy, so we can share conversation, so we can share, just use each other as for comfort or for knowledge. I've been getting that if we do the collective, that people in the group will ascend much faster, because they don't have people around them that they can have a conversation to. And I guess that's why I answered that question from Abby. Okay, and the coaching sessions, 15 minutes to an hour and a half a month, and we talk at least once a month, one-on-one. It's an extremely cool thing to have when you are in the WTFs. Okay. Also, unlimited questions for every single package. Okay, for every single subscription, you have unlimited questions up to 7 p.m. at night. Okay, so that's a good thing. And then also, there's the private Coaching for the Soul mentor group on Facebook that I'm going to post on probably 3-4 times a week, because that's what Spirit is telling me I need to do. And I'll do less on Bill Clairvoyant and less on Bill Hobart, Clairvoyant Medium Psychic. Okay? Everything's shifting. Everything is shifting, getting us ready for that next dimension, right? And what is old, and it's not going to go forward. So I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to that. Coaching for the Soul will always be there. Okay, it will always be there. I've been assured of that. It may be taped because I'll be 6 hours different when I move to Maui. So it may be taped, but it'll. And if I can work it out where I'm doing it at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is 3 o'clock here, I'll do it. But I don't know what that's going to be yet, right? So again, if you have questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Now, I hate to say this again, but some people take advantage. Okay, they don't book readings, they don't book sessions. All they do is ask me question after question after question, and I stop after one. Okay, if people want to donate to my channel, right, to my Facebook page, or no, to my Bill Hobart Clairvoyant page, my website, you can, but that's what I'm going to direct people to after one question, because there's a couple of people who 4, 5, 6 questions in, and they get upset when I don't answer them. And when I say to them, you need to buy time, they get upset. It's not free, right? It's not free. Still got a life to live. And if you want my expertise and you want my connection to spirit, that's something that's valuable. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that very well. But ask me question, maybe 2, right? And I'm willing to answer everything that, and sometimes I go longer, right? I'll be like, okay, well, it could be a simple answer. And Spirit's like, no, we got to give them the whole spiel. Okay, that's fine, if that's what they want to do, right? Right? But questions about different subjects in one same text conversation is not going to happen anymore, okay? And I hate to be that person because I just love to do it and I would do it automatically. But they're saying, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I do it for free, basically, but I can't because I need to pay my bills, right? It's a way of life. So yeah. So so I think that's all. I feel like I'm in a weird space right now of energy because of that conversation. Okay. Readings are still on sale. $85 for a half hour, $105 for an hour, $50 off basically. Saturday, I have open appointments on Saturday. It's going to rain on Saturday and Sunday. The dream cruise is going to suck. And so if you need something to do and you want to know something, book a reading, book a session, okay? And if you want to talk to me on Saturday, but it's full, text me or call me, and I'll extend it, okay? Because if it's raining outside, me and Daisy ain't going no place. We ain't going no place, right? And if you need Sundays, text me and ask me if I'll do a Sunday session, okay? Because I will. There's people that work 6 days a week and they can't, and they want to talk to me about stuff, right? And they can't always, and then I don't want to advertise that, but for people that watch the program and people that follow me on Facebook and people that go to my YouTube channel and do that kind of stuff, right? Of course, I will definitely do that for anybody, okay? But you gotta like the channel, right? So if you guys would, I'm gonna post this right now over on YouTube. If you go over and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Like the video, leave me a comment, even if it's just hi Bill, an emoji, you know, this, I don't care. What do you want to do? It's fine. Yeah. And talk about me to people. That's word of mouth is amazing. I talked to a person today who came to me from Stacey Casey. I love Stacey Casey. We talked for an hour and a half. Supposed to talk for an hour and a half because she's all connected. She's a Capricorn too. We were yabbing and jabbing and yeah. Spirit was all about that. So sometimes it goes longer. Very seldom is it right on time. So yeah. So anyway, guys, namaste. Thanks for watching the program, either live or over on YouTube. I'll see you next Thursday. It may be sooner, right? Might be this weekend. It might be next week. But I'll see you for sure on Thursday at 3 for Coaching for the Soul. See you guys.